Hey everyone, it's Sarah from Sassy Reads, and today I'm going to be talking about some of the books that I read in 2018. So, let's dive right in. The first book I'm going to be talking about is The Paper Magician by Charlie N. Holmberg. I received an ARC of this from NetGalley a long time ago. This book I think was published in 2014. I'm sorry, I'm a bad ARC reviewer. I really am. Sorry. But this story follows Sione Twill. Sometimes fantasy names, they're just like, ugh. Sione Twill, and she does not want to become a paper magician, but she's been tasked with becoming an apprentice in this society, and she was chosen to do paper folding. And she's like, this is the most boring one ever. But then, like, it's so magical because, like, the whole house is made of paper, and people can be made of paper, and it's cool to see it all unfold and be made. It's like Harry Potter, but with paper, but not nearly as well written, and the characters are not very fleshed out, but that's okay. And she ends up apprenticing under Magician Thane, who she's kind of got a thing for. And there's like a slight romance element, but not really, and so there's like a lot of room for world building, characterization, and all this to grow, because you can definitely tell that this is a debut in a fantasy, and it has its areas to be improved upon. And I am planning to check out the rest of the books and see if they were improved upon. And yeah, I have a full-length review down below, and so I'll leave a link for that. I think it's a pretty good story. If the concept of paper magic interests you, I say give it a go. I gave it 3.25 stars, so it's better than your average 3-star book. But is it groundbreaking? No. But I love the idea. It's whimsical, and it's got some fun, unique twists to it. However, I will preface this, I do suggest you go read my review before you completely decide, because there are elements of it that a lot of reviewers were like, if I had known this, I would not have picked up this book. So check out my review before you go into things. I don't want to recommend you something that has like a huge no-go for you when it comes to reading, just because I don't want to waste your time. And then the next book that I read was another book for Peter's Book Club. I listened to I'll Be Gone in the Dark, One Woman's Obsessive Search for the Golden State Killer by Michelle McNamara. So this book is one of the hot topics of 2018, y'all. It actually just won the Goodreads Choice Awards. Congratulations! It's incredibly sad that Michelle McNamara passed away before everything with the Golden State Killer came to pass, but if you don't know, Michelle McNamara is a crime writer, and she was obsessed with finding out the Golden State Killer, or the East Area Rapist. He was a man who raped women and broke into houses in California. Some of them were also areas that the Zodiac Killer had been in, if I remember correctly. And so he was in that kind of populated area. And it lasted for, I think, 15 years before it stopped, and he was caught this year because this book was published, and it prompted it to go further, and she sadly passed away before the book could be finished or before the killer was caught. But this is a great story, you guys. The audiobook is fun. I do think I should probably physically read it, so I may go back and do that in the future. But I give this 4.5 stars. It was thrilling, it was gripping, and I remember there was this one scene, and I can remember it like so vividly. But we were like hearing this woman recount her experience, and she was like, she had made a joke about how scary it would be if there was someone sitting outside the window watching them, and she like goes over and she looks in the bushes, and there are eyes looking up at her, and I was like, oh no, nope, done, out of here. And so like that stuck with me, and I think that's a testament of a great true crime novel, is when even scenes that do not involve, like, you know, murder or like extreme horror and gruesomeness can chill you to the bone, because it's good writing. And I do think Michelle McNamara was an incredibly talented woman who was whose life was taken too soon. But I'm glad that this book is out in the world because it's a true testimony to her drive and to what kind of woman she was and what her work was like, and her work meant a lot to her. So I definitely recommend this one, and the audiobook, I cannot speak, the audiobook is a great one to check out. The next book I read in 2018 is a book that was recommended by Peter Likes Books. It's called The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. This is one of those mystery psychological thrillers that's sweeping 2018 by storm. It's kind of like, you know, Gone Girl, The Girl on the Train, you know, like those mystery thrillers that get like all the hype. That's The Woman in the Window this year. I gave it 4.25 stars. I listened to it on audiobook. It was very gothic, Alfred Hitchcockian. I felt like I was in a black and white noir film. It was creepy. But I'm going to be honest with you, a good portion of the book, I was bored out of my mind. I was like, oh my god. If I had read this, I probably would have just DNF'd it. But I was like into the narration and I was feeling the atmosphere, so I kept going. And I'm glad that I did, because this is why it's a 4.25 and not like a 3-star novel. The twists were fantastic. They were just on top, just twist after twist after twist after twist, and they blew me away. I was shook. I was like, what? My jaw was dropping. I was breathing heavy. I was like, because I was not expecting A.J. Finn to go where he went, and I admired him for that. And I think this is a solid suspense mystery thriller. It's much slower than your usual thriller novel, but I feel like if you listen to the audiobook, it makes it go a little quicker. So yeah. Take that as you will if it interests you. It's a good one. I think it's better than your average one. That is my final say. The next book that I read was a book that I got from review from NetGalley. It is called Furyborn by Claire Legrand. Claire Legrand has been sweeping the YA publication world by storm recently, but Furyborn was a book that I almost passed up. And I'm glad that I didn't, because this one is good. It follows 2 women, one 1,000 years ago, who destroyed the world, and then we follow the girl 1,000 years down the road who is living in this destroyed world because of Riel. Yeah, it's intense, y'all. I love following somebody who we know is going to become a villain. I was all here for Riel's storyline. She was so intense, so dark, because like you could see like her being manipulated by people, and then there were so many twists at the end. Oh my god. Furyborn, I give this book 4 stars. It's a solid fantasy. I could care less about the other dual point of view. I'm only continuing this series for Riel and her storyline, because I was quaking, and I can't wait to see how it goes. That other girl, I could care less. What's her name? I should probably tell you her name. Her name is Eliana. I don't care about her. She's irrelevant to this story as far as I'm concerned. I didn't care for her dynamic. I was like, whatever. I'm here for Riel. I want to see you destroy things. Let me see it happen, because I was living, okay? So yeah, this is a solid 4-star fantasy for me. I highly recommend it. And out of all these books, I think I recommend I'll Be Gone in the Dark the most. Let me know down below in the comments what books you are interested in picking up. And don't forget to subscribe. Bye, and happy reading!